10,000 years ago, the last great ice age loosened its grip on the northern world. Glaciers, once colossal gods of ice, retreat beneath a warming sky. Valleys awaken from a 100,000-year slumber. Rivers, newly freed, begin to carve paths through fertile loam. The world is being reborn, and in the shadow of melting giants, the seeds of civilization stir. This is where the story of the Germanic peoples begins. Long before they were warriors, kings, or conquerors, they were survivors. Scattered across the deep woods and frigid coasts of what we now call Scandinavia, Denmark, and northern Germany, early humans forged a life in a land both beautiful and brutal. The people of the Mesolithic and Neolithic eras, fishers, hunters, and wanderers, left behind only stone tools and ghostly footprints, but their descendants would one day reshape the fate of a continent. Around 3000 BCE, a great migration began, not of armies, but of ideas, languages, and genes. From the distant steppes of Eurasia, the Proto-Indo-Europeans swept westward, herders on horseback, speaking the ancestral tongue from which most European languages would descend. Among these waves were the ancestors of the Celts, the Slavs, and the Germanic peoples. But where did they stop? How did one branch become something new? Linguists trace the birth of the Proto-Germanic language to the dense forests of northern Europe, isolated, cold, and untamed. Here, between 500 BCE and 200 CE, dialects began to drift. Accents hardened, words fused and fell away. By the time Rome looked northward, a new voice had emerged from the dark. Fierce, clipped, rhythmic, the language of the Germanen. We do not know what they called themselves. Tacitus, the Roman historian, would name them Germani, a label born of fear and confusion, not understanding. To the Romans, they were ghosts in the trees, tall, pale, fire-haired warriors who lived beyond the Rhine, unruled and unbroken. But to themselves, they were many peoples: the Suebi, the Cherushi, the Langobards, tribes with their own gods, laws, and legends. They were bound not by empire, but by blood and by the forest. The early Germanic tribes lived not in cities, but in kin-based villages. Leadership was earned, not inherited. Laws were spoken, not written. Justice was personal, often brutal. But in this harsh world, a culture of resilience was forged. And with it, a sense of fierce independence. And yet, something more was growing. As Rome's legions marched ever deeper into the continent, the Germanic world would be tested and changed forever. Trade brought silver, wine, and war. Roman coins turned in Germanic hands. Sons of chieftains were taken as hostages and returned as Romanized leaders. Ideas flowed both ways: armor, architecture, ambition. But it was not peace. In 9 CE, deep in the Teutoburg forest, a new chapter would begin, written in blood and betrayal. 3 Roman legions marched into the woods and never returned. This was the awakening. From these early origins, the Germanic tribes would scatter across Europe, toppling empires, founding kingdoms, rewriting the map. Their languages would evolve into English, German, Dutch, and others. Their myths would echo into Wagner, Tolkien, and beyond. The birth of the Germanic peoples was not a single moment, but a slow ignition, sparked by ice, migration, and memory. Today, their legacy lives in the laws we write, the words we speak, the stories we still tell. What began in shadowed forests now spans the world, but to understand who we are, we must first remember who we were. If you found this journey through the past compelling, subscribe to the Germanic Age for more episodes that uncover the forgotten roots of Europe. Share this with those who seek to understand the deeper history beneath the surface. And ask yourself, What other stories lie buried in the soil of time?